Well, hello and good evening to everyone. I wanted to come on really quickly. I'm sure most of you probably already know this, but I've been trying to get the story to you for the past hour almost, maybe a little bit more. Grandkids are cutting up, but I do want to bring this to you right now. Listen, did you know that Governor Kemp of Georgia signed a bill allowing concealed carry of handguns without a license? Now, I'm sure many of you do, but let's just get right into the story, shall we? Yeah, we shall. So, standing outside of the Gables Sporting Goods store in Douglasville, Georgia, where Governor Brian Kemp said that he bought his daughter Lucy's first handgun, the governor has signed a bill that allows Georgians to carry concealed handguns without first getting a license from the state. Making good on a 2018 campaign promise, Kemp signed Senate Bill 319, referred to by backers as constitutional carry. SB 319 allows a lawful weapons carrier to carry a concealed handgun everywhere license holders currently are allowed, meaning guns would still be prohibited in places such as secured areas of airports or government buildings that have security at their entrances, including the state capitol. A lawful weapons carrier is defined as anyone who is now lawfully allowed to have a gun. The bill went into effect upon Governor Kemp's signature. Kemp said that he was signing the bill because it was what was right for Georgians. He said, quote, "There is no doubt that we are in challenging times," Kemp said, citing the increasing violent crimes across the state. Kemp said the permitless carry was another of the several steps that he had taken to tamp down crime, citing legislation that he's pushed, such as increasing penalties for people who have been convicted of illegal street racing as well as human trafficking. Now, law-abiding Georgians should not have to go through the process of getting a license to carry a concealed handgun, Kemp said. He said, quote, "People don't have to carry if they don't want to, but it is the constitutional authority that people have, and they certainly shouldn't have to have a piece of paper from the government to be able to legally carry a weapon." People who've been convicted of felonies or facing felony charges, however, if they've been treated in mental health hospitals or have had substance abuse issues within the past 5 years, or if they've been involuntarily committed to a mental health hospital, they would still have to they're not permitted to get them at all, not purchase them, not possess them at all. So they would still be prohibited. But for years, gun rights activists there in Georgia have pushed to the state to get rid of the state's licensing process. But the proposal picked up steam this year when Kemp, who is faced with stiff GOP primary fight for re-election, said that he supported passing permitless carry legislation. Kemp endorsed a similar firearms measure during his 2018 campaign, when also he featured the headline of a grabbing TV ad. Now get this, I found this amusing, the TV ad. The TV ad that showed him pointing a gun toward a stammering actor playing as though he wanted to date Kemp's daughter. In the 3 years after his election, Kemp didn't little publicly to push the permitless carry at the legislature until former U.S. Senator David Perdue declared that he would challenge the governor for the state's highest office. Perdue accused Kemp of being a career politician who hasn't delivered for gun rights advocates or backed other cultural issues popular with the party's conservative core. Quote, "We fought to protect the constitutional right of every person in this state, and we won," said Senator Jansen Avenatti of Dallas, a Dallas Republican who sponsored SB 319. While pursuing permitless carry is considered a play for GOP voters, a poll by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, which is where we're getting the story, poll that they had done earlier this year found that about 70% of all Georgia voters did not believe that Georgians should be allowed to carry concealed weapons without first obtaining a license. And of those, 54% of the respondents who identified as Republicans and 60% of those said that they were conservative opposed allowing guns to be carried without a permit. Now, there have been a split between the law enforcement officials on the idea, and most of them have declined to take an official stance on the bill as it has made its way through the legislature. Now, supporters of the measure say that it removes the unnecessary barrier to their constitutional right to carry guns. Long guns in Georgia can already be carried without a license. Georgia has not required training to get a license, and there is no waiting period in Georgia when buying a gun. And those who don't have a license must undergo a background check when purchasing guns from stores. Georgians seeking to carry a concealed handgun have had to apply for a license with their local probate court or their sheriff's office, depending upon the county that they live in. They've had to get fingerprinted, and they've had to submit to a background check as well as pay up to $75. Now that Kemp has signed SB 319, that requirement goes away. Background checks would still be necessary when purchasing a handgun from a store or a dealer, however. The state permitting process would remain in place to allow Georgians to take advantage of the gun carry reciprocity with other states, an agreement that allows gun owners to carry concealed handguns in states that offer the same permissions. Now, opponents said the Republicans are pushing legislation to remove the handgun licensing process to play to the GOP base. They said the permit process has screened out some who don't have the legal right to carry a gun. Without it, there will be nothing to stop those people from carrying a gun and potentially committing violence, they say. And at a press conference featuring some of the state Democratic lawmakers before the governor signed the bill, the state senator Donzella James of Atlanta called Kemp's support of the legislation a campaign tactic. She said, quote, "Who is he serving with this bill?" Some say that he's serving himself by pandering to special interest groups and the far-right pro-Trump base, closed quote. And some Democrats said removing the licensing requirement would work in their favor in November. That's what the Democrats said. Now, U.S. Representative Lucy McBath told canvassers at the Gwinnett Park, who were preparing to go door to door to promote her campaign, that Republican-backed permitless carry legislation will help motivate more Democrats to vote. McBath, whose teenage son, Jordan Davis, was murdered in 2012 in an argument over loud music, added in an interview that Republicans are embracing the expansion at their own peril. She says, quote, "Don't be fooled into anything that the American public, and don't think that they're not paying attention. They see exactly what's going on and what's happening, and they know who is in favor of protecting their families and their communities, and they know who isn't. And they're going to see the difference at the polls." Well, that's what was said, and that's what's going on. And that's the end of that story. Let me know what you guys think about it down below in the description box. I should say in the comment box. And give me a thumbs up, please, for this video. It'll be really great. Let more people to come in and see it. Tell me what you think about that. I see a lot of comments over here. A lot of comments. And I want to say hello to each and every one of you that are in the chat right now. Because this is a breaking news piece, I won't be able to do a lot of hey, hey, hey. But I'm going to say this. Hey, hey, hey. Listen, you guys, take care. And I do have 3 more short stories that are coming up that are pretty important that you may or may not already know. But yeah, we're going to have to talk about this. Okay, you guys take care, and I should be back in about 15 minutes. I hope you get to join me. If you don't, just give me a thumbs up for this one. All right? All right. You guys take care.